What's up, everybody? Welcome into A to Z Sports Picks. Brian and I are going to have a great show for you this Championship Monday. Get you all set up for tonight's title game. Brian, my man, looking sharp. How we doing?
Doing good. Fired up for this title game. Glad that no more Coach K Love Fest, none of that nonsense, and KU in North Carolina. Let's do it.
It's going to be awesome, man. Everybody, welcome in A to Z Sports Picks. I'm Alan Bell, CBS Sportsline, alongside Brian Edwards of VegasInsider.com. A to Z Sports Picks is brought to you usually every Tuesday and Friday by BetMGM. We are going a special show here Monday for the National Championship, still brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. New users, make sure download that BetMGM app right now. If you use promo code A to Z200, that's A to Z200, put a $10 money line wager on either team tonight. Get $200 when either of them hits a three. And you know what? From what we saw in the Final Four, both of these teams aren't afraid to hit a three. So that's BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years or older. Must be present in the state of Tennessee. For gambling problem support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789. All right, so, Brian, jumping right into it, okay? So we've got Kansas, a 4.5-point favorite. Where are you seeing the total at right now? 151.5 is what I've been seeing mostly. Yeah.
A few 152s out there, but 151.5 or 152. And North Carolina plus 170 on the money line, and Kansas minus 200 on the money line at most books.
Nice. All right. So let's start by just kind of breaking down the game. We'll get into best bets here in just a second, but your thoughts on it, what you're seeing, any trends, anything that you like. Break it down, man. What do you see?
Yeah, so North Carolina, their last 5 as an underdog, they've won outright. Kansas, last 12 as a single-digit favorite. They are 9-3 against the spread. They are 12-8 against the spread overall in 20 games, as a single-digit favorite. Kansas is now 33-6 straight up, 20-18-1 against the spread. And North Carolina is now 29-9 straight up, 21-16-1 against the spread. The over is 22-15-1 overall for North Carolina, 21-18 overall for Kansas. But the under has been a more profitable way to go on the totals for Kansas here recently. Since this one is in the 150s, I'll point this out. In North Carolina's last 8 that had totals in the 150s, the over is 8-0 on those. And when we do best bets, I'll give out all those combined scores. And Kansas has only had 4 totals in the 150s this year. And it went 2-2 over and under on the only 4 that were in the 150s. North Carolina's had a ton though, and so there's just some initial thoughts.
I like it. All right, so looking at BetMGM, kind of where the public is, where the sharps are. All right, so Kansas 4.5-point favorite. All right, 54% of the bets are on Kansas. 53% of the money is on Kansas with that spread. Looking at the total, 151.5. 59% of the bets are on the over, and 55% of the money is on the over. So kind of generally where the public usually goes. All right, favorite over, yep. Right? So that's kind of where we sit.
But not too drastic. Sounds like they're getting pretty good two-way action.
Exactly, right? Like, and a lot of it's been, you look at like the openings, right? It opened Kansas 3.5. So obviously, it went up there. And then the total, opened 153.5. And the public actually bet it down, right? Yeah. So now we're seeing it come up. So yeah, man, like there's all kinds of ways that it's gone so far. A couple notes here, excuse me, in regards to both teams. Like you said, Carolina's won, its last 5 underdog games outright. They're 5-0 against the spread in the tournament this year. This year. They've got 4 players averaging 14+ points per game in the NCAA tournament, and all 4 have scored 20 points in at least one game. It's crazy. You look at Brady Manick for North Carolina. All right, dude, he's averaging 20 points per game, 55% shooting from the field, 48% shooting from 3 in the tournament so far. And Caleb Love for North Carolina, he has 3 games out of their 5 in the tournament where he scored 20 points in one half of said game.
Wow.
It's incredible. Like I don't think he had a point the first 15 minutes against Duke. Legitimately.
He got it going, though, eventually.
Yeah, he damn sure did. All right, a couple on Kansas here. Kansas is 3-0 straight up versus North Carolina all-time in the tournament under Bill Self. You look, Kansas, again, man, we talked about it, before the Final Four. Kansas has a 16.2 points per game differential through the NCAA tournament. Like, it's hard to gauge kind of where they're at because they've got 3 blowouts now, right? Like, I know at first it was just Texas Southern, but now you got Villanova and Miami. They've blown out by double digits. Strong. Kansas won 8 straight games. They've won all 8 of those by 5 points or more. And Kansas is shooting 41% from 3 in the NCAA tournament. So, dude, they're firing. Absolutely. I think them and Villanova both hit, 13 threes in that game?
Yeah, I think that's right. And another thing on Manic, you were pointing out his stats, and he got ejected with more than 10 minutes left in the Baylor game, and he was on the way to his best game of the tournament in that one. So that makes all those stats even more impressive.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, that dude has been nuts, man. So, yeah, it's kind of where the game sits. All right, let's get into best bets. First, before we do, I want to send a big thank you to HelloFresh. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store. Count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. And I'll tell you, Brian, we've been talking about it. You gave us a great breakdown of what you had. I had these sweet chili pork burrito bowls last night. Dude, phenomenal. They're awesome, man. I'm telling you, it's fantastic. And I like that you get, a good amount of vegetables in there. Plus, like you said, all the seasonings and spices and stuff. It's been fantastic. Everybody, go to HelloFresh.com/pick16. Use code PICK16, that's PICKS16, for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Any others that you've eaten, Brian, that you wanted to give us a breakdown of?
Yeah, so I got a little lazy on the Italian chicken and pepper sandwiches just because I was just lazy and hungry, and I didn't do the bread. I just had the chicken and peppers and cheese and all that, and the potato wedges. But it was money. Loved it again. So a 2 for 2. I've got one left. I've got the saucy pork burrito bowls. That's what I'll be having tonight.
Dude, they're money. I'm telling you, I had them last night, dude. They're fantastic. Again, everybody, HelloFresh.com/Picks16. Use promo code Picks16. Okay, so best bets. All right. And I'm going to let you start. Okay. I want you to go through them first, break down what you have, and then I'm going to jump in after you.
All right, I'm going to go with the over. The over is 17-8-1 for North Carolina in its last 26 games. The over is a perfect 8-0 in Carolina's last 8 that have had totals in the 150s. So when they've been going up against a team that doesn't mind going up and down, and therefore the totals in the 150s, the over's been popping. And those combined scores all got over tonight's total rather comfortably, with the one exception being a 154, which didn't go over that significantly. But the other 7 got to 158, 158, 175, 167, another 158, a 180, and a 174. And Kansas has had a lot lower totals. Again, like I mentioned earlier, they've only had 4 in the 150s, but that's more so, the other teams wanting to kind of slow it down. Kansas will not mind an up-tempo pace with Carolina, in my opinion. And that's why I like the over. That's my bigger bet. I'm also going to go with Carolina Carolina +4 for a little bit. Like you mentioned, they've covered 5 in a row, all 5 tournament games. In their last 12 games, they're 11-1 straight up, 10-2 against the spread. And 7 of those 11 outright wins came over teams that made the tournament, including the defending champ Baylor, including Duke twice in this span, including a UCLA team that was basically the whole, nucleus of the team that had to get beat off the backboard in overtime, buzzer beater in the Final Four last year, and was playing extremely well. Also, the Virginia Tech, the ACC tournament champion, has gone down in this 12-game stretch. And then obviously Marquette and St. Peter's, other teams in this tournament that have gone down. So I'm just feeling Carolina, and I'm going them +4, but I'm more so amount-wise on the over.
Yeah, I feel you. And look, we're going to be on opposite sides on a lot of this here. All right, so I'm not talking about full game. I'm going first half under 70.5. All right, I don't disagree with you at all on the over. I don't have a play on it, but I don't disagree one bit. I am going to take the first half under 70.5. I think that these teams, I mean, if they come out firing threes like they can, I'm in trouble. But I have a feeling that it might be a little slow. They might feel each other out a little bit. So I'm going to take the first half under 70.5. I'm also going to take Kansas -4 for the game. Again, I don't hate playing North Carolina at all. I mean, look at them. You know what I mean? But I think that, if this injury to Baycott is real.
Well, yeah, that's the wild card tonight.
It is. And again, he's playing, obviously. But
how healthy is he?
Yeah, exactly. How healthy is he? And if anything happens in game, again, North Carolina can shoot themselves just fine if they're hitting, but if they're not, man, Kansas can get down low in the glass on you quick, man, and make a run. So I'm going to go Kansas 4. I'm going to go first half under 70.5. Okay.
And Baycott, I'll point out, if he's unable to go the major minutes, that will hurt them on the boards, like you're pointing out. I mean, he's averaging 15.6 rebounds per game since the ACC tournament, the 2 ACC tournament games, the 5 NCAA games. And during the regular season, he averaged 12.5 rebounds per game. So if he's not 100% or can't play as many minutes, McCormick and Kansas will be looking to take advantage on the boards for sure.
Yeah, I think he has 84 rebounds in the NCAA tournament. It's some just obscene number, right? He's a double machine. All right, so jumping to the I want to know the most enticing national championship prop on the board. All right, mine's a little interesting. So Brian, I want you to go first, and then I'm going to jump into mine after.
I think it's Caleb Love at +400 to be most outstanding player. Now, it's not an absolute given that if Carolina wins, he would win it, because you certainly have Brady Manick, who's actually averaged more points than him at 18.7. Now, this is actually I'm looking at covers.com, and they have the playoffs counting the ACC tournament. So it's all 7 of those games. So I'm not really sure how much he had exactly in the 2 ACC tournament games. But in those 7 playoff games postseason games, Manick's 18.7 points per game. Love is 17.1. But when you think about how Love made the dagger shot up 1 to put him up by 4 on Duke with 24 or 5 seconds left, somewhere in there, and he's made just a ton of big shots. I think he's most likely to win it if Carolina wins. But I'm not saying you take Love +400 rather than Carolina +170 money line, because Manick and Baycott certainly could win it as well. But I think Caleb Love at +400, I think he has a great shot if he plays good tonight and they win it. And so that's what I'm going to go Caleb Love +400.
I like it. And you're right. It's tough with North Carolina because they have so many guys that are producing at a high level. You know what I mean? But yeah, I like.
And just side note, if somebody's kind of feeling that thought process, but thinking Manick more so, he's got better odds. He's got +750 if anybody is. Yeah. If somebody's digging the reasoning but just disagrees on Love or Manick, Manick's got better odds.
There you go. All right. So I'm going to go with a 3-way winning margin play here. Okay. So let me break down what I have and how this works. All right, so there are 3 bets. I'm going to take Kansas by 1 to 5 points at +325. I'm going to take Kansas by 6 to 10 points at +333. And I'm going to take North Carolina by 1 to 5 points at +400. So the way that this works is that you use the same unit amount on all 3 plays. Could be a unit each, could be a third of a unit, however you want to work it, right? And understand, this is a risky play. You've got to be willing to lose and not worry about it, not blink to run with this. It's not for everybody. If you want to stay risk adverse, this isn't the play for you. But if you want to have some fun tonight, this one is. Okay, so say I put down, we'll just use $100 on each one. We'll use that as unit size, okay? So Kansas wins by 1 to 5 at plus 325. I'll net $125. That includes the $200 on the other two plays. Okay. Right. Kansas by 6 to 10. I'll net $133, which includes losing the $200 on the other. And then North Carolina by 1 to 5. I will net $200, which includes the $200. So essentially what we've just done is we've created a 15-point window for us to play with tonight. All we have to do is have one of them hit. That's it. Guaranteed profit if one of them hit. So we have North Carolina. Essentially, this is the range that we have from plus 10 to minus 5. All right. And we have Kansas from plus 5 to minus 10. So does that make sense?
Yeah. So you lose three units if Carolina wins by more than 5 or Kansas wins by more than 11, right?
By more than 10. Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Correct. So yeah, understand it's a risky play. You have to be able to say, you know what, if I lose 3 units, don't even care. I was going for it, whatever. Right. Like it's that type of a play. But
those are the 3 most likely windows that it hits.
I think so too. Right. Yeah. And essentially what we've done with those 2 ranges. All right. We've got a 15-point window on both sides with an average odd of plus 153. That's essentially what we've done. So we're just using the math. We're using the numbers kind of against the book here. It's a risky play. It's got to fall in that 15-point window, but it gives us so much more coverage, right? So, yeah, that's how I'm going. If anybody has any questions, let me know. But, yeah, that's what I'm going with. Again, it's a risky play. I get it. It's not for everybody. But if you want a fun sweat with a little insurance there, that's your one. All right. Last segment, my dude. The perfect BetMGM National Championship Parlay. What do you got?
UNC on the money line plus 170 and the over 100 gets plus 408 and 44 cents. 100 gets 408 and 44 cents. UNC money line and over whatever you got, 151 and a half, 152.
Nice. All right. Yeah, and let me say, anybody playing a parlay tonight, it is slim pickings, my friend. It is tough to find a lot out there. Look, I'm going 3-leg plus 296, Kansas money line, Columbus Blue Jackets plus 1.5, Toronto Maple Leafs plus 1.5. All right. So I'm going to play those numbers there with the spread in the NHL on those 2. Take Kansas on the money line. Again, 3 legs plus 296. All right. Before we kind of wrap this thing up, again, I want to say a big thank you to HelloFresh. They have been with us through the entire tournament with basketball on all day and night. Did not have to leave the house. Ate good. Definitely going to do it again tonight. I can't wait. And it's easy to make. It's easy to cook. If me and Brian can do it, trust me, everyone else out there can as well. So go to HelloFresh.com/pick16. Use promo code PICK16, PICKS16, for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Okay, Brian, final thoughts here before the title game tonight.
Pistons covered again yesterday, and I got scared because Cade Cunningham was out. And Sadiq Bey was questionable, and Sadiq Bey had a monster game, and they covered again. So I don't think they're on the NBA slate tomorrow. But the NBA games are already – the lines are already out. There's no games tonight. Obviously, they don't want to compete with the Final Four. But, yeah, that Pistons team, I think we only got 4 more games. But, man, they keep cashing tickets galore. And shame on me. I got scared when Cade Cunningham wasn't going to play. Dude, good luck to everybody tonight.
Yeah, so they're what, 18-2-1 against the spread their last?
I think so. I think that's it. It's just ridiculous.
It is, man. It really is. All right, everybody, again, thank you so much. Big thank you to you. Big thank you to HelloFresh. Big thank you to BetMGM. And you know what? A to Z, all right? Our guys, man, like I love what A to Z Sports is doing. They have blown this thing up, man. It's fantastic. Expanding to new cities. Dude, it's awesome, man. So, yeah, everybody, best of luck tonight. Let's hit these bets. Let's make some money. We'll see you down the road. Thank you so much.
Good luck.